actually didn't come prepared. I'm Chris Nevitt. I represent South Denver on the Denver City Council. I didn't really come prepared to talk about city stuff. I came because this was sort of the post-session meeting of the House District, and I got to say I am so wildly impressed, so in awe. Pat is a hero. Ferrandino is a hero. Irene is a hero. Our Democrats in the state legislature knocked it out of the park, and they didn't. The thing for me is they didn't knock it out of the park in the usual sort of political way. It's like Democrats against Republicans, and we fight for our stuff, and they fight for their stuff, and we kick their ass and got our stuff done. It wasn't that. It wasn't that.
Very nonpartisan.
Democrats are interested in governing. Democrats are interested in governing, and God damn it, they governed. They governed, and it was really, really impressive. We didn't sort of, drive the stake home on every sort of, left-wing thing we could think of. It was very measured. It was focused. It was important. I mean, look at the gun stuff. I mean, gun rules in this country are insane, but what they got passed were the things that had strong public support. So it wasn't a huge move forward, but it was a huge move forward in that we actually got something done. I don't think any other state managed to do jack squat in this area, and they stood up to the crazies but didn't do anything crazy. And that's, we've been frustrated for so many years. I mean, how often have Democrats been in charge at the federal level, and what do we get out of it? Jack shit. It's just frustrating as hell. And these guys really, they govern. And I think this is what democratic power looks like. This is what democratic power. Democrats in power is the legislature we just saw.
Yeah.
And that is very cool. And I think that's a down payment on a democratic future for Colorado. That's what I think. So those guys are. I wasn't even here to hear all that. I'm glad because, like I said, Ferrandino's not here. It's just between us. I'm happy to take any questions about city stuff, but one sort of underline I want to put on the things that Pat was talking about was the election reform. I think people don't understand quite how important that is, and particularly election day registration. So elections will not be run in the way that they have been run in the past. I mean, think about the election calendar. There's all the work you do at to energize your base, and then there's the early voting, and then there's a whole set of people we abandon a month before because they can't register. We have registration all the way up to election day, and that will be a huge advantage if we continue to run the kind of ass-kicking ground game that we do, because every eligible voter out there will be on our list all the way through election day. So that puts a very big responsibility on us to run the ground game that we should.
Are the Republicans going to contemplate a ballot initiative on that?
I don't know. That's a my pay grade. But probably. I mean, it's terrible for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fewer people voting, the better for the Republican part, and the more people voting. But again, I mean,
And they found all those illegal people who are voting.
Oh, yeah.
They all 32
All
of them.
6 of them.
Yeah.
6 of them.
Yeah, God, we can't even get people who are registered to vote out to vote. How the hell are we going to?
You got a question before, so let's let Alex.
I just wanted to piggyback off of the election reform. It's going to change the entire landscape of elections, but it's really going to benefit the organized. And that doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to benefit us unless we really step up our game. One big change that will be happening is our voter file. The DNC is working on it to bring in people who are unregistered. So right now, you are only, in your voter file, you're only targeting registered voters, but what Catalyst, which is a competing company with VAN, has non-registered voters, or non-registered individuals in their system. VAN's going to be updated to take into account these changes, so we will be ready to to target those people leading up to election day.
Yeah, it'll be real different.
Well, just in that same vein, if we look back at Oregon, the first 10 years of their all-mail ballots for all elections, it took them a few years to get up to speed, but they're getting in the high 90s.
Yeah.
90% of potential voters are voting.
Wow.
And, according to what Alex said is absolutely true. It's really incumbent upon us to not take anything for granted and to work not the streets like we have, but not just get the 4x4 Democrats or the known independents, but every person has to be approached in some fashion with a compelling story so that they might see the value of their participating.
And targeting will be interesting too, because if you think about it, so you know, you send mail to registered voters. You don't bother sending mail to people who aren't registered. But are there populations that you think you can target? I mean, you know, DU's 4 blocks away.
Well, Aurora, we have all kinds of people that live here and go to the
So
store.
we want to think about
Yeah,
sort of
we've got
like
a
that's a focus to get registered even late in the day. Do you want to tee them up with mail? Well, hell, mail, they don't read mail, but you know what I'm saying. It really.
Robocalls.
And we do have a terrific asset in our clerk and recorder, because they're on board 100%. We've had her here, and she's following another good clerk and recorder we had. So we're moving in the right direction, but we need the help.
Deborah Johnson's been a total champion. She's been great.
She
Taking
was
on
here
Scott
the
Gessler.
Yeah.
She didn't blink.
Yeah, she did not blink. Yeah, she didn't blink. We didn't blink.
I can't tell you the number of times I ran into people I was working out of the Obama office at Alameda and about Federal, and over and over and over again, I ran into people who the mail ballot was stuck way down at the bottom of a pile of mail, and I mean, that's true of my friends too, in whatever part of town you live in, that's gonna happen, but there were people who really couldn't tell the difference between an application to vote by mail and a ballot. They would come to the door and say, oh, here's my ballot. And you know, you'd say, well, no, that's your application to vote by mail.
Right.
So I think the idea of an educational team out there just hounding away at what these forms look like and what to expect and put it in a safe place, and you know, because boy, I spent a lot of time waiting for people to dig down through piles of mail and run out to the car and look and see if it was in the car. And
No, we've all spent quite a bit of time
Yeah,
sitting in people's
yeah.
houses while they root around for the missing mail. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's really going to be incumbent on us to have this figured out, to not do it business as usual. I mean, our ground game is
Yeah.
great, but it's going to be a very different ground game.
yeah.
We got the tools, we gotta just put them in.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we got the people. They got the money. Money doesn't vote.
Any other?
Thank you.
Okay.